What up? Um, it's been a little bit. I don't know. Been a little bit since I posted last, but today is that day. I'm going to be giving you my predictions for the NBA season. Before I do that, as an MSU student, I'm going to talk about our loss to James Madison College yesterday and how I am embarrassed. They're a really good team, though, so you can't really knock them. But we're better than that. So just wanted to get that out the way, man. Tyson Walker, 35 points. Something light. Small guard. Holgard didn't have the best game. Malik Hall, no. Cohen Carr. Really good game. The young guys. Well, Booker, obviously. Apparently he got to practice late or something, but that's why he didn't play that much. And, on Izzo's team, it's about discipline. And if you want to play, you got to do things right, and that ain't right. So, hey. But, yeah, man, we lost by. We shouldn't have lost in general. But, tough loss, man. We're going to drop in the poll. I know that for sure. Because we are the number 4 team in the nation right now. And when that poll comes out, we going to fall. If not, we're not going to fall like to 25. But we have to fall. I don't care if they're like, no, we have to fall after that game. Like, even as a fan, we have to fall. So, yeah, man, just sad to see us take a L. I already talked about my thoughts about that Tennessee game. So, yeah, we're going to move on from that. But I just had to get that out the way. Giving my opinion. Got a solid team, man. Just got to execute and win games like we know we should be winning games. I know that Duke game, that's going to be like our ground right there. If we beat them, then come on. James Madison, okay. But if we lose to Duke, if it's a close game, then okay. But if they blow us out or if we blow them out, then that game's going to be to see where we stand, literally. And yeah, man, I know this college season's going to be pretty hyped up, pretty amped up. We had the hype. Like last year, we had to climb up. That's why I'm like, we had to climb up last year and get our stripes and gain our respect. And that's why we were ranked so high to start and well deserved. But we just got to capitalize and win games now. So now I'm going to give you my predictions. I have playoffs, what teams I think are going to be in playoffs. I got my MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and who I think is going to win the championship. So for the East, Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, Cavs, Knicks, Heat, Hawks, and the Nets. I think they're all going to be in the playoffs. Raptors might sneak in. They might not. Celtics, they're playing really good basketball. They just took their first L, but Anthony Edwards put up 40, so you can't really do much about that. He took over in overtime. I'm going to get to the Timberwolves next, but yeah, Celtics, I think they're the best team in the NBA. They got that defensive front, man. It's hard to score. That starting lineup of Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, everybody in the lineup can defend. Everybody in that lineup can defend. Yeah, man, I think they're going to be number 1 in the East pretty easily. I think they're the better team versus the Bucks, as we can see so far. I'm going to just flow right into the Bucks. They haven't been as dominant as people have thought that they were going to be. That's why me being as neutral as I can, I said the Celtics were going to be the better team. And it's only 7 games into the season, but it's showing. Bucks, I was watching that game versus the Knicks for the tournament game, and that game was too close, man. Come on. I know they got the dub, but these guys should be, by the way they were talking about it, they were going to be blowing everybody out, and obviously not, because the East is actually competitive now. No shot to any players who used to play in the East and dominate every season and make it to the finals and lose. But the East is competitive now. Ain't nobody finna be blowing through the East as you saw last year in the playoffs, Game 7 to go to the finals. Even though the Heat should have swept the Celtics last year. But yeah, Bucks, man. I don't know. As the season progresses, I'll continue to give my opinion. I think they're going to be a top 2 seed in the East for sure, with the star power of Dame and Giannis. But I just feel like it was a little overhyped because Middleton is not playing that. That's it right there. Middleton is still recovering, in my opinion. He's not playing to his full standard, his full potential. And that's going to hurt them. So I see a guy like Marjon Beauchamp who's stepping up. Malik Beasley's going to be there to knock down some 3 balls. They got Jay Crowder off the bench, he has to re-earn his stripes, in my opinion, because he was complaining like he was a star when he couldn't go here, couldn't go there. Like, bro, come on. You're like a role player to me, personally. Yeah, I think Bucks are going to be number 2 seed. Sixers, they just traded her. I haven't even had time to talk about this. And I think when I get to the clips, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on that trade. But in my opinion, they are looking better without James Harden because Maxi's taking a leap. They still got Tobias. Embiid had 48 and 3/4 yesterday. Yeah, but Maxi's going to have a big year. I think he's going to be most improved because of his load that he's going to have to carry now without Harden. And, I just feel like Harden – I'm going to talk about Harden, okay? Let me not get ahead of myself. But, yeah, I think those guys are going to be really good. Maxey, Tobias, Embiid are going to have good seasons this year. They all can average over 20 this year. Cavs, they're not having the best start to the season, but we know Jared Allen was dealing with an injury. Garland was dealing with an injury, but they got a solid squad over there in Cleveland, man. Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, and then Jared Allen. That's a pretty minus Garland. That's a really good defensive lineup. And then off the bench, you got guys like Karis LeVert. He's basically like a 6 starter to me. They got Dean Wade who can spot up, knock him down. They got a solid squad, man. I think they're going to be 4 seed because, I just feel like they're going to run it back, have another good season. And then 5 seed could be either the Knicks or the Heat, so I'm just talking about both of them. So Julius Randle just had his best game of the season, and it was about 28 points, I think. And he's been struggling to start the year. Brunson's been carrying the load offensively. Knicks are always going to be that fringe, I don't know how to feel about you type team. Because I don't know how to feel about them. Simple as that. But, they're going to be. I think if they're not I think Heat will be the 5 seed. So Heat not having the best start either. Hero's having a good start, though, as a starter. He's going to be – I told you, once he gets to be a starter, I don't know if I said this to you guys, but I've said this. If he becomes a starter, he'll average 25 points per game. He's averaging, 24.6? So he's going to be easily above a 24-point per game scorer this season, in my opinion, when he's getting that the touches and the minutes. And Bam, I think Bam had just had a 20-20 game monster. He's good for 20-10, a few blocks a game, defensive monster. I just feel like, man, Bam's one of those guys who I know can shoot, but he just don't do it. He just don't do it. And I just want to see Bam start to shoot the ball more and expand his game, because that's 25 points per game right there. If you incorporate that 3-ball that I know you have in your game, I know you can do it. I know you can shoot threes, Bam. I know Bam can shoot a little bit. He has the handle. He's a 6'9" big, so he can handle the ball. It's them Kentucky boys, man. I'm telling you. But I think Heat, Knicks are going to be 5, 6 seed. I don't know which order. 7 or 8 seed again. Hawks and the Nets. Hawks having a solid start to the year. They are currently the 4th seed in the East, but I told y'all Jalen Johnson was going to fill that John Collins role perfectly, and what is he doing? He's doing that well. Trae Young putting up his 20 and 20, however many, and 10. Dejounte Murray having a better scoring season to start the year, which is good for them. He's a two-way guy, one of the better two-way guys in the league. DeAndre Hunter, Sadiq Bey, like good wings. AJ Griffin, they got solid wings. Jalen Johnson, solid wings. Clint Capella off the bench on Onyeka Okongwu. They got solid guys over there in Atlanta, man. I feel like they can make a playoff push this year. I wasn't really too hot on them prior to the season, but I did say Jalen Johnson was going to be able to fill that role for John Collins, and he's doing that well because he's a lob threat easily, and he can play make. I remember when he was in high school, his play style was just like a point forward, and he's a 4 now. So yeah, Nets are gonna be an iffy situation because if they don't make it, then I think the Raptors will make it. So I'll talk about both of them. Nets, so they got Dinwiddie, Ben Simmons, McCall. Well, they're starting Cam Thomas right now. McCall. And then, is it Day'Ron Sharpe? Because I know Nick Claxton is out. So those are some injuries are up. I think Day'Ron Sharpe is out too. I know injuries are hurting this team right now. Cam Thomas is putting up numbers. He's a gamer. He can score the ball with the best of them in the league. All his shots are tough shots, and he shoots them anyway. Really good scorer. McCall, we know him. One of the best 3-and-D wings in the NBA. Can shoot it. Ben Simmons, I feel like Ben's going to put up his solid 10 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Like that's a typical Ben Simmons stat line now that he's still not attacking, but he's impacting the team. He's also a superb defender as a point guard. He's going to lead that team. I feel like they'll make the playoffs. So I'll talk about the Raptors a little bit, but Raps, Schroeder, they got Schroeder in free agency. Scotty Barnes having a really good year. Really putting up numbers, man. As a 3. He could also be a most improved player candidate. Because last year they were saying he didn't have the best season to be coming off a rookie of the year season. And he's proving the people wrong, man. He's putting up, I think all his games have been above 20 points, except for one. 10 rebounds, 6 to 10 assists. That's really good for a forward. And yeah, those are my people who I think will be in the playoffs for the East, plus a French squads. For the West, I got Nuggets, Warriors, Suns, Mavs, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Lakers. I'm lying right now. Let me take that back. So if I had to take one of the teams, I had Clippers on here too. So if I had to take one of these teams off to not make the playoffs this year, because the Kings are going to make the playoffs when De'Aaron Fox comes back. Come on. I'll just do what I just did last time. But the Kings are a sure playoff team. I don't know. Had a brain fart here when I was looking at my stuff. So Nuggets, Warriors, Suns, Kings, Mavs, Wolves, Pels, Lakers. This is not in order, but I just wanted to put the Kings higher because, yeah. So Nuggets, I've already talked about them. Reigning champions. Not really much to say. MPJ's having a really good start to the season. I've seen him have a few 20-point games, back-to-back games. Jokic, you know what he going to do. Jokic could win MVP every season if voter fatigue wasn't a thing. Jamal Murray, I think he just got hurt, so prayers up to him, man. Speedy recovery. But, when they have a healthy lineup, Aaron Gordon, one of those guys who's a defender, scorer, can do it both sides of the ball. Same with MPJ, man. Really effort-driven guy. Yeah, I think they'll be the 1 seed again. So I got Warriors, Suns. So those Warriors, Suns, Kings could all be, I think those are my 2 through 4 seeds, and I don't know what exactly, but Warriors having a good start to the season. Curry playing just as well as he has played before. having Chris Paul. Chris Paul's not going to give you 20 points off the bench, but he's going to give you a solid 8 to 12 assists a game. That's the thing. Having a guy like Chris Paul who can come off the bench and keep the flow of the game and control the game is something that the Warriors haven't had in a while, and that's really good. The young guys are starting to step it up a little bit. Moody, Kuminga, they're getting more minutes. And I've already talked about them before, so yeah, what I think of them. Suns, no Brad Beal, so can't really say much, but KD's been putting up numbers. Book has also been hurt and he's not really fully back, so they did get whopped by Wemby and them guys back. Well, they didn't get, the first game was an error, I guess. Something happened. I know they stole the ball from KD. People were saying it was a foul. Keldon Johnson game-winning layup. And then the second game, they just got steamrolled, but they came back at the end, and then Wemby just started to take over. Man, Kings. But Mavs could also be in there, so I'll just put both of them. And that's my 1 through 5, in my opinion. Kings, I think they're going to have a really good season again, just like last year. They surprised a lot of people being a 3 seed, but at the same time, when you have talent like Fox, Sabonis, Keegan Murray, who's coming about, I know he has a hand injury right now. Fox is hurt right now. So Davion Mitchell stepping up big. Malik Monk off the bench regardless. He's gonna do what he gonna do. He gonna score the ball. But Sabonis, man, Sabonis is really good. He just got to develop a right hand, and he's virtually unstoppable if he develops a right hand. Because I know he likes that left hand, but if he develops a right hand baby hook, he's already a beast on the boards. He could distribute the ball, average about 7-8 assists last year as a center. So him and Jokic and Sengun are like all guys who can give you double-digit points, double-digit rebounds. And Jokic for sure can give you double-digit assists, but like Sengun and Sabonis can give you 7-8 assists a game. Like it's nothing. Those are the guys who could just flat out, they have the IQ, big man. They're not always looking to score. They also looking to pass and get their teammates involved. Mavs having a really good start to the year, man. It's just those clutch moments. I've watched a few of their clutch games, and they just know how to clutch games. Luka, dark horse MVP candidate. I'm sorry. Luka could win. I think Luka should win MVP this year if they're a top 5 seed, bro. You see what he's been doing the last couple of years. His team just hasn't had the team around him to go to the playoffs. Kyrie's not having the best start to the season, and Grant Williams as an addition was great. Grant Williams is a spot up. He's a spot up shooter. Knock him down. He gonna play defense, but Grant Williams knocks down his shots, man. I was watching the game versus the Hornets, and he was in the clutch. He had a 4-point play, but he missed he hit a 3 and got fouled, and then he hit another 3 in the clutch. Same with Tim Hardaway Jr. Those guys are just shooters. They got shooters. When you got shooters around, a guy like Luka, good things are gonna happen. Jaden Hardy, shooter. Josh Green, shooter. Like big man. Derek Lively, what a pickup, man. I knew he would be good in the league. He didn't really have the chances that he should have had at Duke, but yeah, he came to the league and he's contributing. They compare him to like a Tyson Chandler, and I like that a lot. Springy, rebound, scores, plays defense, protects the rim. I like that comparison a lot, man. Timberwolves, they just handed Celtics their first L of the season. I've been talking. They got Jaden McDaniels back, and their defense is I know Gobert got dunked on. Okay, that's what comes with jumping. With a guy like Jaylen Brown who dunks on, he gets at least a poster a season, at least 1 to 2 a season. So, but yeah, Ant-Man is averaging 28 a game. What did I say? He gonna average at least 26 this season. He's their guy. I know Cat's there. Cat's a perennial all-star. They got a squad, bro. Mike Conley facilitating. Kyle Anderson. Come on, man. They got a solid squad, bro. You cannot forget about the Timberwolves, man. They got a defensive squad. Nas Reed off the bench, who's shooting 50, 40, 90, I think, to start the season, averaging at least 15. Really good, man. For a big, yeah, bro. They got solid defense. They got solid defense in Minnesota. I think they just got to be. They're one of those teams, too, have made the playoffs, but they just been bounced first round. And seeing a guy like Ant-Man he's coming up, and he's starting to find his game, he's going to lead them. And I just want to see them in the playoffs this year and to see a guy like Ant-Man lead them. And I want to see what he can do, because Ant could average 30 this year. But he's averaging 28 right now, man. And he just has that mentality like your great guards. And I think he's going to end up being a great guard, one of those great guards by the time he retires. Pelicans. Dang, bro, something always happening to the Pelicans, man. CJ McCollum, bro. Prayers up to CJ. He won't be playing for a while with his lung injury. Dang. That's just sad. So, we gonna see guys like Hawkins is gonna have to. He stepped up. He had a really good game in there. They lost to the Nuggets, but they were close. Zion gonna have to take a leap because he hasn't been having the greatest season so far. Ingram's gonna score the ball. Sandro Valanciunas, you know what he's gonna do, man the paint. He's gonna be a stretch big, rebound. But now we get to see guys like possibly Kira Lewis Jr. get more playing time because they lost their point guard and CJ for a bit. But with CJ, those guys are in the playoffs. They are. Seeing Zion be healthy this long in the season, I know it's a joke at this point, but that's a good sign. I got Lakers and Clippers both at the end of my list. So Lakers, if he start, what are we gonna say? AD got hurt. He got an hip injury, but he say he's gonna play. Like, he's not gonna sit out. So that's good. LeBron's still playing at a high level. AR and Rui. So Rui's not getting that much PT, which is like, come on. But how you gonna give somebody like Rui all that money, extend him, and AR? AR's just not playing the best basketball right now. But Rui is not getting the play time he deserves, and I'm gonna stand on that. D'Lo having a solid year. D'Lo's always one of those inconsistent guys. It's just hard to think that we will ever see that Brooklyn D'Lo again, because he's playing alongside other guys who can create and score. And I was saying that the Lakers had depth, man, but they really don't, bro. Who they got off the bench other than Rui? Cam Reddish isn't really producing. Gabe Vincent ain't really producing. Jackson Hayes ain't really producing. I don't know. Lakers going to be an iffy situation there. Now we get to the Clippers. So they're running Kawhi. They're running Westbrook 1. Westbrook at the 1. Harden at the 2. PG at the 3. Kawhi at the 4. And Zubac at the 5. Off the bench, you got Powell, Bones, Plumlee. That's basically it for them. Who going to score the ball? Harden trade. They got killed. First game with Harden. I just feel like it's too many scores and ISO guys on that team. I saw that post that Harden was like, I am the system. I'm like, so I commented. I was like, so why weren't you ISOing like that in Philly? Because he had to change his play style to fit into the system in Philly to become a 20-10 guy. Clips, man, Kawhi. It's just gonna be everybody not gonna be able to eat, and that's all I gotta say. Everybody's not gonna be able to eat on that team. Then you got Zubac. Zubac does all the dirty work. He guards. He rebounds. He can score it a little bit. And then the rest of your lineup is Westbrook, playmaker, ball dominant guy, can defend. Harden, ball dominant guy, who's been mediocre at best in his defense in his career. PG, perennial all-star. Kawhi, perennial all-star. Both two of the best two-way wings in the league. I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't know why I have them this low on my list. I was just going off the dome, looking at the lists. And yeah, that's my Western Conference thoughts. Who I think is going to be in the playoffs. Both of those are 9 teams, just so you guys know. So MVP, I think it'll be either Jokic, Luka, or Jason Tatum. You could put Embiid in there again because now Harden's gone, so he's going to have craziest volume probably of his career. Jokic, we know what he's doing. 2010, about 8, 9. Let me actually see what he's averaging in assists. He just had a crazy triple-double yesterday. It was like 30. He had 30, and then double-digit points and double-digit points. He had 30, double-digit rebounds, and double-digit assists. He had 35, 14, and 12. Yeah, Jokic's going to average his solid 28, 13, 12, 13, and 8 a game. That's like him at this point. It's nothing different. He's just so good at getting his teammates involved. Luka, though. I think Luka's going to win MVP this year. Him or Tatum. I think Tatum has a really good chance to win MVP this year. Tatum's averaging, 30 and 9? Because he's playing the 4 now. Luka's averaging 31, 9.6, and 9. Those are MVP numbers every year. He averaged that like last season too. And but his team didn't make the playoffs, so he wasn't even in consideration. And then Tatum. Yeah, Tatum's averaging 30.5 and 9 a game. Rebounds, that is. And about 3 assists. I feel like Tatum is not he doesn't really get that recognition like he should. Considering he's averaging 30 a game and 9 rebounds. How wasn't he in consideration last year? I don't know, but those are my MVP guys, I think. Yeah. Jokic, Tatum. Curry could slide in to win MVP. But they haven't really been looking at Curry like that. Because somehow, someway, he be getting hurt. And then I said Ant Edwards too. As a possibility. If his team makes the playoffs, top 5 seed, and he's putting up 28, 30 points per game and leading them, anything's possible. I think he's going to be All-NBA this year. But in my opinion, I think Luka wins the MVP this year. Because the way his team started the season, the way they play at home, they could not lose a lot of games at home this year because they have the atmosphere and they know how to close out games. Defensive Player of the Year, Bam or Anthony Davis. I think I always say Evan Mobley too because he kind of got, or Brook Lopez. Those guys, Brook Lopez is going to be in there. What did he put up the other night versus the Knicks? Versus the Knicks, he had 8 blocks. So he automatically going to be in my defensive player of the year conversation like he was last year. So I think Bam, AD, maybe Mobley, and Brook Lopez are my defensive player of the year candidates. Rookie of the year is Wemby or Chet. Brandon Miller will be 3 for me. But I think Wemby, I don't even know personally, I don't even have a personal preference because Chet is putting up. Okay, so let me look at some stats real quick. So So Chet's putting up 17, 8, 3, 3 assists, and 2.5 blocks per game on a team that's contending. That's the thing. That's why I think Chet could low-key steal Rookie of the Year from Wemby, is because he's contributing immediately to a team who I ain't even put them on my list. I ain't put the Thunder on my list either. And I think the Thunder is gonna at least make the play-in this year. I think Thunder gonna make the playoffs. They just have depth, and their guys are all young. So Thunder, don't forget the Thunder, please. So Wemby's averaging about 9. Yeah, Wemby gonna average like 20. Wemby gonna average about 20, a solid 20 and like 6, cause he ain't getting rebounds. For Wemby averaging 19 and 8 a game, 2.6 blocks. I just think it's those two, and then B. Miller, he's just now starting, so he wasn't starting before, so he's just got his starting spot as the number 2 pick, and he's not doing the most. I feel like he's still inconsistent, so only time will tell with his consistency. But I think those are. I don't even know. I'm gonna just say Chet and Wemby because B. Miller hasn't even started yet. So once I get to like midseason, that's when I'll talk about B. Miller and see if he's gonna be in a. Scoot he's been hurt. I know, but he hasn't been what they thought he was gonna be. All right. So, 6 man of the year, I think it's going to be Malik Monk, Bobby Portis, or Norman Powell. All are self-explanatory. I shouldn't have to really explain any of them. And then the NBA championship, I think is going to be Celtics, Bucks, Suns, or Nuggets. Yeah. Those are my 4 teams. I think that has to be the conference finals. For both sides too, even though I think the Suns, if they're the 3 seed, they'd have to meet somebody else. I just think those are my 4 teams, and so far season's been pretty interesting. As you know, I got League Pass, so I'll be watching a lot of games, and then just be studying, watching games, studying the game. Just getting as much knowledge as I can, and yeah, that's really all I have for y'all today. I know this is what I've been talking about for a while, and this is what y'all get. I already talked about most improved, who I think is going to be. I think it's going to be Maxey, easily. If it ain't, then wow. Or Ant Edwards. If Ant Edwards ain't in MVP conversation, he's going to be in most improved conversation, okay? And, yeah, Coach of the Year. I could care less about Coach of the Year. Come on, bro. Could be Mike Malone for all I care. Or the Celtics coach, Mazzulla. The top 2, yeah, like, come on. Yeah, man, that's all I got. If y'all want me to talk about individual players and my opinions on them, text me, because I know y'all don't be dropping nothing in the comments. Text me. Y'all got my information. Social media, everything else. And yeah, man, that's all I got. I don't know why I just did that. That's all I got for y'all today. Grind starts, man. I got an alarm set for when I'm going to be posting every day, Monday through Friday. So be ready. Again, like I said, thanks again. And I'm out of there.